All right, good morning, class. We're going to be going over section 1.5, subtracting real numbers. So we'll begin there. So what we're going to do is we'll consider the 6 minus 2 or 6 plus negative 2. Either one, they're equivalent statements. We're just going to go through some rules. So here's our rule today. So if we subtract 6 minus 2, so $6 minus 2 gives you 4. Or if you go 6 plus negative 2, you still get 4. So if you look at it, what's the difference? Well, there is none. You get the same answer in the end. So what we're going to do is in some cases, not every single case, but in some cases, in order to do subtraction, we're going to switch it to addition. We're going to add the opposite. And so that's what it's saying. So simply, if I want to subtract two numbers, A and B, I can change the minus in here to a positive, to plus, to addition. What I have to do is I have to switch the sign of B. So right now I'm subtracting B, which is a positive, so I'd have to switch that to a negative. And then we use the rules that we went over for addition. So if they're the same signs, I add them together, and if they were both negative, then my final answer would be negative. If they're both positive, my final answer would be positive. Or if one's positive, one's negative, remember, then the one with the bigger number, we take that sign. So this is what we're going to be doing. And we're only going to do it if we need be. If we get it, if we don't need to, if it's 6 minus 2, I don't need to switch the sign. We'll just leave it as 6 minus 2, and that equals 4. So that's what we're going to go over today. All right, so we want to subtract 6.9 minus 3.24. We don't need to switch the sign. I'm not going to switch the sign. I can go $6.90 minus $3.24. I'm just going to do it vertically. So once again, we go 0 minus 4, or we make this a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, so we have to cancel out. So we go 8 minus 2 is 6, and then 6 minus 3 is 3. So my answer is 3.66. So we're only going to do it if necessary. So that's example 1. I want you to write it down. Example 2 is a fraction. Negative 7/8 minus 3/4. This is one I'm going to switch. I have a negative minus this, so I'm going to switch this sign to a positive. So I'm going to say plus, which means I switch the sign of this to a negative. Now, in order to subtract, I need a common, or in order to add, I need a common denominator. Now we go back to our rule yesterday. They both have the same sign, so now I just add them together, and in the end, my sign will be negative. So I switch. I need a common denominator. I can multiply 4 by 2 to get to 8, so I do that. So 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6. Now I can add them together. Negative 7, I can just go 7 plus 6 is 13. Since both of them were negative, we just write it as a negative. So we can write it that way, or you can write it as 1, negative 1 and 5/8. Either way we want. Example 2 then. Next example, 4 minus a negative 7. Again, I'm going to switch this and make this addition. So I'm going minus a minus, I'm just going to make it addition. So I switch the sign. 4 plus, so plus, switch the sign after it is addition. So 4 plus 7, that's 11. They're both positive. So in the end, it's going to stay positive. Next one, we have this one. Okay, minus a minus. Once again, I'm going to switch the sign to addition, which switches this sign from negative to a positive. So negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And we are done. So then we'll go to a couple other cases that we may have. So case 1, we have three numbers. So again, I'm not going to touch addition. If I look here, negative 3 minus 5. So I'm going to switch the sign here. So plus and negative. And now I'll combine it. Negative 3 plus negative 5. So I'm not worrying about the 7. So I have two negatives. I'm adding together. So I just add them. 3 plus 5 is 8. And keep the negative sign with it. Now we go to our other rule. If I'm adding two negative numbers, or a negative and a positive, in the end, since 8 is bigger than 7, my answer is going to be negative. And so remember yesterday, we just said 8 minus 7. We just subtracted as 1. So my answer is negative 1. So that was a rule that we learned yesterday. If I'm adding numbers together that are opposite sign, and one negative, one positive, I just subtract them. And whatever sign's bigger, that's for whatever number is bigger, that's the sign we'll use. Last example, now we want to keep it as a fraction. Okay, but once again, I'm going to go ahead and combine these two terms that go together. I'm not going to worry about 1/3. So I'm going to switch the sign of this. 2 minus 10, I'm going to switch the sign to addition. So 2 plus negative 10. So now if I just look at these two numbers, 2 and 10, 10's bigger, so my answer is going to be negative. And now I just subtract. 10 minus 2 is 8, and I keep the sign with it. Now it's negative 8 plus 1/3. Again, if I look at this, I want to switch. So now we're going to go ahead and we need a common denominator. So just remember that 8 is over 1, so it's really negative 8 over 1 plus 1/3. So we need to get a common denominator. We have 1 here, we have 3 here. So I'll multiply that side by 3. So 8 times 3 is 24, and 3 times 1 is 3. So now that we have it, now we can go ahead and it's adding. So that means if you look at it, I have a negative, I have a positive. So that means really we just go, what's 24 minus 1? What's 23? Is that 23 going to be positive or negative? Well, since this sign is bigger, since 24 is bigger and it has a negative sign, it's going to be negative 23/3. And you can leave it like that, or you could, again, you can write it as a proper fraction of negative 7 and 2/3. But that would be sufficient. So that's all we're going to be working on. So I want to show your work on every single thing that you do. Write down those problems, right? And we'll continue on.